Welcome to the iMRS Getting Started Basics Guide. So this video, I'm going to go through tips and strategies to help make sure you get the best results possible using the iMRS WellFit, Complete, or Professional unit, and also the new Omnium One system. So let's just get right into it. There's over 10,000 research studies and 2,000 double-blind studies showing the benefits of PEMF therapy. So it's probably one of the most well-researched areas of energy medicine available. And it even has FDA approval for some conditions like fusing broken bones, enhancing wound healing, reducing pain and tissue swelling, supporting muscle function, and even to treat depression. So there's many benefits, and in my experience, the main reasons people buy the unit is to eliminate pain and inflammation naturally, and then number two is to help get better sleep, which leads to more energy and vitality the following day. So let's get just a brief overview of the three systems. The iMRS WellFit is the basic system, and that has the control unit, the full body mat, and the pillow pad. So you definitely want to make sure you at least start with the WellFit unit, but definitely consider getting the iMRS Complete or Professional. The Complete comes with the applicator probe, and the Professional additionally has the iGuide. The one accessory that, to me, is really, really important is the iMore biofeedback, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So getting right into it, the iMRS uses pure copper coils to give a true magnetic field. So here's an image you can see of the inside of a mat. And I just wanted to show that so you can see that in the middle of each of those coils, you're getting a pure magnetic field. And that's the only way you can create a pure magnetic field. The iMRS full body mat uses the triple sawtooth waveform. The sawtooth wave is the best way to deliver bunches of frequencies simultaneously. And the iMRS is mainly targeting the 0 to 30 hertz range, which is the natural Earth frequencies. The applicator pillow pad and probe uses a NASA-proven square wave. And the square wave was shown by Dr. Goodwin in a 4-year NASA study to be the most effective waveform for healing and regeneration and also pain relief. So the square wave is ideal for breaking up cycles of pain and also for healing and regeneration. And the NASA study you can check out online, but basically it showed that a rapid rise and fall waveform at a low frequency and a low intensity was ideal, which is exactly what the iMRS is giving you. Additionally, the iMRS has a biorhythm clock, which gives you the right frequency for the time of day. So, for example, in the morning, you want energizing frequency, so you get the 15 hertz setting in the morning, and that's the beta brainwave. So that's going to give you energy in the morning, and towards the end of the day, you get the more relaxing alpha, theta, delta frequencies that help with relaxation and then at nighttime sleep. So this is the iMRS is the only unit that has the true biorhythm with the actual settings that correspond to those brain states. So let's get right into the iMRS Getting Started protocols. So we're going to start with the full body mat. So here's protocol number 1. Always use the full body mat first. And we'd recommend, as we'll see in a minute, level 25 in the morning and level 10 at night. And you only need to use the full body mat for 8 minutes twice a day. If you have a serious health issue, you can do 3 times a day and even up to 4 times a day. But again, just 8 minutes. You don't need to do more than 8 minutes. Because it's sort of like charging of a battery, right? Once the battery's charged and the green light's on, you can leave the battery in there, but it's not doing any additional good. So you only need 8 minutes twice a day or 3 times a day, and you can even go up to 4 times a day. But, typically with most people's schedules, if we can just get in 2 times a day, that's ideal. And the reason why you want to always do the full body mat before the local applicators is that the full body mat opens up all the energy pathways for healing and regeneration. It helps to open up the circulation and detoxification pathways. And, it just warms everything up, as shown by Infrared-Thermography. So that way when you go in with the local applicators, you'll get the maximum amount of benefit. Let's get now to protocol number 2, which is using the pillow pad for localized issues. Now, local issues are best handled by the pillow pad or the probe, but let's start with the pillow pad. And again, this uses the NASA-proven square wave, and the pillow pad is great for a localized area, but that's spread out maybe a little bit. So, for example, low back pain, liver issues, digestive problems, colon bowel issues, the lungs, or like carpal tunnel or problems with your feet where you can just put your hands and feet on the pillow. So, again, the pillow pad's a little more spread out, but again, very powerful. And we'll get into the intensity guidelines in a minute, but I just wanted to give you a little guidance on when to use the pillow pad and when to use the probe. So the probe is our laser-focused applicator, and this is probably one of our most powerful accessories that we have. And you want to use the probe, in a very focused way. So on small joints like fingers, jaw, ankle, elbow, etc. For localized pain, like tennis elbow, knee pain, arthritis of small joints, or even just specific vertebrae. And you can even use it like acupuncture, needleless acupuncture. I tell people if you can point your finger at the problem, use the probe. Say the problem's here, the pain is here, you can point the probe right at the problem. In some of our most powerful testimonials come from using the probe, so I just want to say that. And there's no time limit for using the pillow pad or the probe, as we'll talk about in a second. Do the full body mat first, and then either the pillow pad or the probe second. So the intensity guidelines for using the full body mat, pillow pad, and probe. As we already mentioned, the full body mat, we just start people at level 25 in the morning and level 10 at night. Now, if you're sick or sensitive, you might want to use 10% or level 10 in the morning and sensitive in the evening. And you can gradually increase these intensities up to 100. It's very rare that you need to go above level 100 on the full body mat. The key is frequency resonance, not intensity. So don't think that more is better. And here's a general guideline. To use a lower intensity on the full body mat if you're older, weaker, sicker, thinner, or more nervous. Use a higher intensity if you're younger, athletic, have a larger frame, or are more balanced. But start off at level 25 in the morning, level 10 at night, unless you're really sensitive. If you're a professional athlete or have a larger frame, then, we recommend every 4 weeks, increasing by one level. At least give a full 3 to 4 days at a certain level before you decide to go up to the next level. So that's very straightforward with the full body mat. And the nice thing about the full body mat, if you have the iMRS biofeedback, you don't have to worry about any of that. The biofeedback actually is like putting the full body mat on autopilot, and it will automatically give you the right intensity, based on the HRV biofeedback. So that's why we really recommend that biofeedback system. Now, the pillow pad and probe, you can see this chart here, and what this chart is showing is that depending on the part of the body is going to be depending on what intensity to use for the pillow pad or the probe. And also if the issue is chronic or acute. So acute issues would be like an injury that just happened, or really, really severe pain or inflammation. A chronic issue is something that maybe you've had for a long period of time. So typically on the head, we don't go above level 50. So again, start off at like 10 or 25 and, just again with 8 minutes and gently, increase the time and intensity. But don't go above level 50 on the head, because the head is the most sensitive area. Now, the torso, typically we don't go above level 100 on the torso. Level 100 is a level you can work up to, but if you got a chronic issue, start off at level 25 and gradually go up. And again, more is not always necessarily better. Be mindful that the head and the neck are the most sensitive, and then the torso with the vital organs, can handle a little more energy, but also is a little bit sensitive. The hips, legs, and arms, and hands and feet, you can actually go all the way up to 400, for any kind of knee pain, elbow pain, hands, feet, joints. But, start off again at level 50 or 100 and gradually work your way up. So here's a general guideline. You can use a higher intensity the further away from the head and torso the problem is, the deeper it is in the body, and the more acute the pain. But refer to this chart and try to stick by these guidelines for intensity. Now, time guidelines, as far as how long to do it, like we mentioned with the full body mat, you only need twice a day for 8 minutes. And again, you can add a third session if you have a chronic issue. Now, with the pillow pad and probe, there's no time limit. You can go on for an hour or more, especially for acute issues. We would recommend that you ideally do the full body mat for 8 minutes twice a day, and then the pillow or the probe for an additional 8 to 24 minutes twice a day as well. And again, with the pillow pad and probe, longer sometimes is better, especially if you've hurt yourself. You can just literally watch a TV show or read a book and just keep pressing go and do up to an hour, 2 hours. And what that'll do is it'll just accelerate healing. The analogy is it's kind of like melting a big block of ice with a hairdryer. If you keep going, you'll eventually melt the ice. Think of some of these issues that need healing and regeneration, or energy blocks, or there's problems. It's like that block of ice. And if you just use the applicators on that, the pain will melt away and the problem will melt away. So the pillow pad and probe, no time limit. And because they're very comfortable and easy to apply, you can comfortably use them for even up to an hour or more a day. But using it that long would only be for short term until the problem goes away. If you have no localized issues, just use the full body mat for 8 minutes twice a day. I like to add the pillow pad to my abdomen because, the solar plexus is down there, the digestive organs are down there. A lot of people have blood sugar issues with the pancreas, which is down there, stomach issues, and the liver's right there for detoxification, and the kidneys too. Even if there's nothing wrong, it gives me extra energy to do it down there. But you can play around and experiment with using the local applicators on different areas just to overall energize your health, even if you're in good health. Now, here's the next point I wanted to go over is even if you feel nothing, something is happening. So the most common sensations that people notice while using the full body mat, the pillow and the probe, is a warmth, tingling, or pronounced relaxation. But don't be disappointed if you feel nothing. It's incorrect to assume that if you don't feel it, nothing is happening. You see, the problem is, unlike gravity, the magnetic field of the Earth, for example, you don't really feel the magnetic field when you're outside. The magnetic field's like when you hold a magnet in your hand, it's hard to really feel something. If you're very sensitive, you can, but for the most part, it's a very subtle energy. But what you do feel is the benefits that the PEMF will give you. And in my book, PEMF, the Fifth Element, which is available on Amazon, I gave a case for showing that this PEMF of the Earth is an essential element, just like food, water, sunshine, and oxygen. So we need PEMF. So that's been proven. That's not just theory. But the benefits that you can feel are the effects of using PEMF. For example, pain relief, more energy, better sleep. Again, some people feel the warmth of the tingling. And I've done many, many demonstrations. And sometimes people will, like at trade shows, they'll lay on the mat and they'll come back to me later and say, you know what, since I've left, I just have a lot more energy. We know PEMF works. And I have personal experience seeing with live blood, gas discharge visualization or Kirlian photography, and infrared thermography showing the very dramatic before and afters. Even in just 8 minutes, you can see, like in live blood analysis, you can see the Rouleau effect where the clumping of the blood cells just dissipate. You can see the energetic halo around the cells. With GDV, you can see the energy field around the person, getting symmetric, getting increasing in energy, and also sealing all the holes, if you've ever seen those charts. And you can, actually, I'll put an image here on the video. And infrared thermography, you can see up to a 4-degree increase in surface skin temperature. And because there's no heat in the mat, the only way you can do that is because it's opening up circulation and peripheral circulation. So again, infrared thermography shows the profound effects that PEMF has on improving circulation. Let me just give a few tips now for achieving the best results possible using the iMRS and PEMF therapy in general. The first and most important tip, besides using it every day, the number one most important thing is to drink a lot of water. And you want to drink ideally 16 ounces or 2 glasses of water 15 to 30 minutes before a session. This is critical for success. You really have to stay hydrated. And try to get, at least half your body weight in ounces of water a day, or 8 glasses minimum during the rest of the day. Also, try to get a session, the full body mat session, in sometime in the morning, because the biorhythm clock is going to be most energizing between 5 a.m. and 10 a.m. and second most energizing between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. So try to make sure you get at least 1 8-minute session, and that'll really kickstart your day and give you energy. Try to eat a diet that's fairly alkalizing, and as much as possible, try to avoid sugar, soft drinks, junk food, fast food, processed food, and stick with real whole foods, especially whole foods that are not too high in too much sugar. Salads, try to have a salad with every meal, more steamed vegetables. You can go for some healthy protein sources. But try to eat a diet that, for the most part, is alkaline, which means more fresh fruits and vegetables, more green foods. And one little trick to alkalize your body is putting some lemon in water first thing in the morning. That's something I do every day because lemon's very alkalizing. Number 4 here, the next thing is to practice deliberate deep abdominal breathing during that 8-minute session on the mat. Babies, when they're young, their bellies go in and out when they breathe. And somehow, or during the course of, our growing up and stress and traumas, we kind of clamp down because that's kind of our solar plexus is emotional center down there. So try to practice, look up online some deep abdominal breathing exercises and, just play around with that or just very simply try to take some deep breaths while you're laying on the mat. Make sure to take a good multivitamin because laying on the mat will really dramatically increase the absorption of supplements into your body. There's many good multivitamins out there. I personally like the one by Dr. Furman. Garden Life's got a good whole food-based multivitamin. If you go to a health food store, try to find like a food sourced or a really natural, good multivitamin to take. And you may want to consider taking additional essential fatty acids like omega-3s and also vitamin D, especially if you live in northern states or northern countries. Another important thing, which is point number 6 here, is try to not overeat while you're getting well. Just eat 3 meals a day with some healthy snacks is typically more than enough. The number 7 is, I've already mentioned this, avoiding junk food, soft drinks, processed food, and fast food. So, because that's just going to further toxify your body. It's going to slow down your results. Point number 8 to achieve best results is to make sure you use the correct settings at which we talked about earlier in the video. Number 9 is be aware of a possible healing crisis. And again, if you drink lots of water and you eat well, you should not have to really worry about this so much. But sometimes when the body gets a lot of extra energy, it'll use that energy to heal itself. So just be mindful if you feel a little fever, flu-like symptoms, or if the pain in a certain area temporarily gets a little worse, just know that that's just temporary and the body's healing itself and it'll overcome that. One other thing to get ideal results is to remove all metal objects, from your body, like jewelry and any metal items in your pockets, kind of like you're going through airport security, And the reason for that is metal is a conductor and it can throw off the field a little bit. It's not that big of a deal if you have a ring or some earrings, but if you got some heavy metal things, it's ideal to not have that on you. Of course, the most important point, besides drinking a lot of water, this is even more important, is just using PEMF every day. Use the iMRS twice a day, every day at least, for 8 minutes. And I promise you, your health will dramatically improve. I've been using it every day, twice a day for 7 years now, and it's the one thing I never miss.